just to address everybody real quick, I know some of you have been around for a while, some of you are brand new just checking this out. We are a group of real estate investors that help each other succeed. We call ourselves Team Elevate, but we're umbrellaed under an educational company called Renatus, okay? So we all have the same education, and we all help each other through real estate transactions, and this happens to be one of the ones that we're currently working on. And Diehl is the one that kind of brought this one to the table. I'll let him do a lot of the talking here of what we've been able to do with this property. Now this one's been an adventure, let's just put it that way, being up here in Oakley and some of the things that we've dealt with. So we'll address those and we'll talk about how it's actually turning out in our favor, and we're ending up pretty close to what we originally expected with the offers that we now have coming in on. So that's a plus. The market right now is hot, guys. If you're selling, John O'Neill, one of our other community members, just got a property that went under contract for $20,000 more than what he listed it for. Okay, this one in particular, when we first put it on the market, within 2 days of putting a Facebook post out, not a KSL ad, not listing it on the agents or on the MLS, but 2 days within putting a Facebook post out, it went under contract for $10,000 more than what what we was asking for it. Now they since fell out of contract, and we'll talk about that. They were much too picky of a buyer to be buying a 100-year-old house. Okay, but the cool part about it is we'll actually make more money with them not being in the picture. So Dave, come on up, and why don't you share a little bit about how this transaction came about. I can do some writing for you.
Cool. So we picked this house up. It was November 20th when we closed on it. It was like October we started looking. My in-laws lived just down the road, and that's kind of how we found it. It was a lady that had passed away, and the kids didn't want the house. They just wanted to sell it and be done with it. There were like 6 kids that were in the picture. They're all older. Just wanted to get the house done quick. So originally we had come in and they were asking, do you remember what they were asking for right off the bat? Was it $235, I think? $235, and we came up, took a little bit of a look at it, took about a couple weeks to kind of go over some of the numbers and break down, where we needed to be. And we ended up coming back to them with an offer at, was it 200? Or was it lower?
We were under 200 actually.
It was 195 or 190. Anyway, it was below 200. And then they came back at 215, and then we came back at 205 and ended up closing at 205. So we knocked about $30,000 off the original asking price. We closed on the 20th of November. We started work. We had a contractor come up with his team and start doing a lot of the work. We started out to do a lot of the demo by ourselves just to save some of the cost. Wouldn't recommend doing that now unless you want to spend more time than you want to. But anyway, we actually had that contractor up here for about 4 months, and work wasn't getting done the way that it needed to. A lot of the stuff that had been done had to get redone because they had done such a crappy job. So after about 4 months and paying out a large majority of our budget, we fired him. And we had to bring in another guy to come up and finish the work. The other guy that we found ended up staying up here with 2 of his guys for about a week and a half. They just slept up here and knocked the whole thing out. So anyway, numbers, to break it down. So we, our original repair cost that we had set aside was about $45,000. We since are in it, we're still putting some of the numbers together, but we're in it about $280 now. So we're about $30,000 to $40,000 over what we had planned on with our, yeah. We're a ways over what we had originally planned on. But again, when we came into this, we said we need to structure this correctly in case something does go wrong. We still have an exit strategy where we're still going to end up okay, right? So we had about 100,000 plus to play with our value based on what we were going into the property with. So since we listed it, like Christion had just mentioned, we came in at $350 within 2 days of that Facebook post. We had that offer at $360, and they since fell out. The list, they sent us back this 5-page list of things, and it was like straighten the wall plates and, I'm trying to remember, tighten the toilet holder, dispenser thing, and we're just like, okay, these guys probably are not gonna want a 100-year-old house, like this is.
And I will say, when the offer came in, there's a couple of things that you can look for to know the strength of your offer, because that's what you really want to know is the strength of your offer. And first of all, what type of financing are they doing? Second of all, how much of a down payment that they're bringing, how much earnest money they're putting up front, how short their timeline is for due diligence. So when this offer first came in, we were a little iffy on it because it was coming in as an FHA. There's nothing wrong with FHA except for the fact that a lot of times the people that are doing an FHA loan are less qualified. However, the agent sold us on these are well-qualified buyer, and they did put $5,000 in earnest money, and they were bringing another $15,000 down to be able to buy the house. So we looked at that as more of a strong offer, and that's why we ended up taking it. But we started getting concerned. We started kind of knowing, because this is a 100-year-old house, right? It has the the character of a 100-year-old house. So when they started asking for things like, can you straighten the wall plates and those types of things, we kind of had a thought that they might back out, and that's what happened.
Yep. So to go in a little bit of detail of what we did with this house, this entryway right here where the Mikey's standing, just the guy in the blue there, that actually was a doorway, and that was all blocked off, and there was like a window through it. But to open the layout, it's kind of weird. We just said, you know what, we're going to open this all up. There was wood paneling in that room, in that front area, the ceiling and everything, so we ended up pulling that all out and sheetrocking over it. The doorway right there where the island is, where Benny's at, that was just a doorway, and we said, you know what can we do with this space to really maximize, some of the counter space? So we ended up putting that island there. Where the fridge is, it was a doorway into the bathroom, and then this door here was a wall. And then the other doorway went into a bedroom where the master is. So we knocked out a wall where the master bathroom is. That was actually one of the bedrooms. When we bought it, it was a 4-1, 4-bedroom, 1 bathroom. We turned that bedroom into a bathroom and a master. And then with the master closet, that was an old coal furnace room, and it was only accessible from the outside. So we ended up closing off the outside, bringing in, the doorway, and it was these beams on the outside structure walls. They're thick, old beams, and that's what the walls and the structure.
This is actually one of them. We've used it for the mantle.
Kind of cool being able to tie that in. So we ended up, cutting through there, building the doorway in, and allowing that master closet. So we're now looking at about 2,000 square feet with the 3-bed, 2-bath house. The flooring where you guys are all standing, we ended up having to rip all of that flooring out. It was super wavy. There were just imperfections everywhere. So we ripped it all the way down to the floor joists, replaced some of the floor joists, new subfloor, to give it, more of a level appeal for the home buyer. We redid about 95% of the electrical, everything that we could get to. Some of it we couldn't update just because the old wire runs through that wood wall, and that's like impossible to go through really. And then the plumbing has all been updated and redone. We've had lots of stories and adventures from this house. You can ask us about it. One of the ones I'll give you, it was right around Christmas time. I was over at my in-laws' house, and I came over. I was like, man, I need to go check on the house. Walked in, and our pipes had been frozen for about 3 weeks because it got so cold up here they froze. And I opened the door and I hear, and pipes had broken loose in the laundry room, and it was just flooding everywhere. There was probably a foot deep of water in there, so we ended up having to let all that drain out, cut all the sheetrock out around it, let it dry, and then start from scratch. But just crazy stories like that, that have kind of gone along in this process. We're into it now about 6 months, where a typical rehab you want to be into it about 120 days, but we're still looking at a net profit of right around 40,000 plus, so especially with these higher offers.
Well, let's just do the numbers, because what we did here on this one was we did a debt equity stack. And you guys, if you've been around for a little while, you understand some of the benefits of doing that, okay? You bring in somebody that's debt, but not for the full amount, because, God forbid we have a 2008 happen again. If you're over leveraged in your houses, then, it's hard to get traditional financing on them, right? So what we did was we borrowed the 205 plus, or how much did we borrow from?
175.
We borrowed 175,000, which was hard money, okay? And they are 12% interest,
Yeah.
right? Okay, and then we brought somebody in an equity position. They happen to be here with us. I don't know if we'll check that out or not, but here they are. And what that did for us is that gives us the ability to look at other options should something come up. So the remaining, how much did we get there?
So we raised 100.
So in private money, in an equity, and when I say equity, guys, that's not the equity of the home. That means equity from a business partnership standpoint. Okay, so think of it if somebody was an equity lender on a tech firm, they would put in a certain amount of money, and they get a certain amount of the ownership of the deal. That's what we've structured here. So we have private equity for $100,000. So you can see that we borrowed more than what we actually thought we needed at first, just in case, right? Just to hedge. Now we have went a little bit above even that with some of the unexpected things. And guys, we can tell you stories. We can write a whole book on the stories from this property. But it was a fun one. Again, where we're at now, though, we had the original offer came in at $250,000. They backed out, so we raised the price because we had so much interest just off that first initial post. We had so much interest that we decided, okay, we're obviously way below market. Now, you can't get much in this area for under $600,000. If you look at the comparables, there's almost nothing in this range. In fact, 2 doors down, you can actually, I think, see it from outside in the backyard. There's a $10 million house that's listed right now. So 2 doors down from this, and then the rodeo grounds, everybody wants to be by the rodeo grounds. That's what Oakley is really known for. So we're really close to, a lot of great things. So we bumped up the price to $269,900 and $369,900. I actually got a Facebook post once, and my heart dropped. I had to delete it. $369,900. So right now we have 2 offers that have come in. Do you want to talk about those offers and the contingencies on it?
Yeah, so the 2 offers that came in, there was one, it was a lady that walked through and she said, I love this house, I want to get back up here. Like, I understand old houses, I had a place in Woodland, and she's got a house in Draper. And so she said, I will buy this house contingent upon me selling that house in Draper. And so we said, that's totally understandable. Let's look at doing that. We'll actually help you do it. So there's not an agent representing her, and we don't have an agent representing us at this point. So we'll be able to eliminate those agent fees, which will end up saving us quite a bit of money and adding more to the net profit. The second one actually just came through today as we were up here, and it's for $369,900 as well, but it's contingent upon owner financing with a $50,000 down payment. So it's a pretty good offer, but at this point, we're only a couple of days into the relist. So I think we're going to hang out and just kind of see. But as you can see, there's 2 offers within a couple of days at that $369,900 number, just off of Facebook, just doing those Facebook posts. So.
And literally one of those offers, Danny was here. He was the first one here this morning, and he was outside. He heard the realtor talking to me and explaining this offer to me. So. It's real time, guys. This stuff's coming in, and that's pretty cool. So we believe we're going to get at least $369,900. We're going to pay about $15,000 here in money costs for the money that was borrowed, and then we're going to split the remaining. So let's talk about this for a second. $369,900. Somebody got a calculator on it?
Definitely need a calculator.
Yeah. Take $369,900. And then minus 70,000, and then minus 15,000. Now, it's possible that there will be an agent on one of these offers. The one offer that's already come in, it's contingent upon her selling her other house. There's no agent on that. But let's just pretend here for a second that we end up paying 3% to an agent. So what's 3% of $369,900? Somebody do that math real quick.
11,000.
So about $11,000 for an agent. So take that out of that number as well. And where does that leave us?
So we're subtracting the 15,000 and the 11,000?
So, okay, let's do this. $369,900. So you're going to subtract the 70,000, the 15,000, the 11,000, and the 205,000.
68,900.
So that's our potential profit right now, roughly. Probably some other closing costs in there and whatnot. It'll depend on what we end up negotiating. Obviously, like you said, this is happening real time. But then again, there is the possibility also that somebody bumps that price up even higher. Because I told the offer that was coming in owner finance, you're going to want to give us at least a week to make a decision on that. So give us that time in your offer when you construct it. The lady that's drawing up the offer with contingent upon the sale of her house, we're probably, if we accept that offer, we're going to put an addendum in there with a clause that says we can accept other offers up and until she sells her other house. Because obviously we don't want to just tie our property up for months on end and have her not sell her house. So we'll probably give ourselves that contingency, which means we have more negotiating power. Because if somebody comes in with an offer at $369,900, we can say, well, we already have a full price offer with no agent, so here's what maybe you can do. Come with a higher offer that closes faster, and we may be able to accept yours. Right? And I always say may, and especially if you're ever going back and forth between text messages or emails, don't ever say, yes, we will accept this or whatever it is, because anything in writing can be construed as a contract. Just letting all of you guys know that right now. It's something to be prepared for. So because I know that, I use a lot of verbiage like may, or we might, or after I talk with my partners, we could probably, right? But I never say we will do this or we will do that based on what they am. And once I do say we will, I'm going to stand behind my words. So this other offer that came in, the reason that we accepted the $360,000 offer that came in is because he said, where do I have to come in to not end up in a multiple offer situation from that? Could I come in at 340? And I said, no, coming in lower is not going to do it. But if you come in at our asking price and enough to cover any of the fees that will be involved in paying you as an agent, then we would accept that. And so he did that, and because he did that, we stood by our word, we accepted that offer, and it's working out in our favor that they backed out.
So one other thing I just wanted to mention, I was just thinking about this, I haven't talked to him about this yet, but so when you find a property, there's a lot of value in that property of stuff that you can get rid of, right? So we've had lots of different stuff. There was an old outbuilding that we took down out there. We ended up selling the roof off of it. A bunch of the wood is reclaimed wood. So we ended up making about $1,000 in stuff that we've sold just on KSL. So we also have an opportunity coming up if we still have the property, the Oakley Rodeo up here on the 4th of July, and we can use all of that as parking, and I guarantee we can clear a couple $1,000 in a couple of days. So I'm pretty excited about that thought. Kind of fun.
Let's hope we don't have it by then.
But I'm hoping we don't have it.
Because I'd rather take this now than a couple $1,000. However, yeah, that's a great idea, and it's absolutely true, and it's prime for parking. So cool. Any questions about this deal at all? We're using round numbers here. We'll come with the final numbers. Stick around, and we usually put together little deal slides and stuff. And if you guys are involved in the community, you can learn about all these ins and outs, right? Take me and Dave out to lunch, and we'll talk to you all about all the fun stories that we've had with this property. So, cool. If there's no questions, then we'll let you break from here, and
Free to walk around.
free to walk around for a little
So
while.
what are some things that are coming up for those who want to continue to plug in and see what we do with our community?
Great question. So we have some events coming up this week. Wednesday, we're actually going to, let's start with Tuesday, so I can stay in order. Tuesday, Dr. Nate Lambert is actually going to be hosting a orientation for our group in Utah County. He's helping us expand into the Utah County marketplace, and that's going to be happening Tuesday at 7 p.m. at the Elevate Event Center, which is
In Pleasant Grove.
in Pleasant Grove. So get the details if you guys would like to come to that. On Wednesday, we're going to be getting together in Sandy, and we're going to be playing the game Cash Flow. So that's a way for you to network with other investors in our community. We play a game, but it also teaches principles of business ownership and real estate investing. On Thursday evening, we're going to be getting together for an orientation and study group. So there'll be over 100 of us in the building at that time. You'll get to meet a lot of our community on Thursday. Friday, we're going to have a question and answer session for anybody that made it there for the Thursday or has seen more of an orientation of who we are. And then next weekend, what do we have going on?
Yeah, this upcoming weekend, we're gonna have on the 11th.
Oh,
right? The
that's
big
right.
Party.
We have our celebration. We're actually, we came together as a team, a whole group of us that were real estate investors. We're kind of doing our own things. We came together and created Elevate, and we're having a birthday party for Elevate. It's only been a year, and the growth has been absolutely amazing. So we're going to be getting together at High Point Park, and we are going to be having some fun. We're going to have some games there, food. We have Ron Williams coming in to speak. Ron Williams is 7-time Mr. World, Mr. Universe, and Mr. Olympia. So he has actually been inducted into the Bodybuilding Hall of Fame, and he's going to talk about the attitude that it takes to become a winner. But we're also going to have some very successful community members from all over the country that have flown in for our live classes that are going to be here, and they're going to be sharing some of their stories and some of their wisdom of success. So those are the
At
events
High
going on this
Point
week.
Park, right?
High
In
Point
Sandy.
Park. Correct. Yep.
What time?
It's going to be from noon on, and we're going to have a what do you call it? Movie in the park. So when the sun goes down, the movie goes on.
Yeah, that's about 7800 South and 10th East in Sandy. Just below.
Any questions about
Macy's.
any of those things? Just get back with whoever invited you here, and we'd love to see you guys around more often. Appreciate you being here. Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Good work, guys. See you.